Kimberly, and Aki. We're continuing work on outfit for content for these characters.
I'm gonna have some new wallpapers on my computer.
Outfit for the rest of the roster.
Hello everyone, Curious Corduroy here, and today we're going to be checking out the Capcom Spotlight, which is going to focus on Resident Evil Requiem, Pragmata, had to think about the name for a second, Monster Hunter Wilds, and Street Fighter 6. But for the purposes of this video, we are going to focus on Resident Evil and Pragmata, because those are the two games that I am most excited for, especially Pragmata. I've been hearing so many glowing reviews from content creators like Maximilian Dude, Professor Noctis, Susie the Sphere Hunter about how awesome this game is shaping up to be because they got to play it at Summer Game Fest. So I'm super excited to see what that game has to offer. But if there's anything from Monster Hunter or Street Fighter that piques my interest, that'll be in the video. So the first half of this video, reaction, second half, breakdown and discussion. So if any of that sounds cool to you, feel free to click the like button, subscribe, and let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Doing even just one of those things helps out a ton, and I greatly appreciate it. All right, I'm excited. Will Leon S. Kennedy reveal himself? What do you got, Capcom?
Plus new info on upcoming titles.
Pragmata looks sick.
This includes behind-the-scenes
sweet
info from our developers, so be sure to watch until the end.
I will.
Now, let's take a look at today's first title.
I think we're starting with Pragmata.
The future.
Yep.
It isn't just a dream. It's a promise.
For the longest time, this game was just a meme. It's not real. It doesn't exist. Thinking all the names that it got. Everything but Pragmata. Pragmata. Pragante. Prego Pasta Sauce.
We're reshaping the line between dreams and reality. We create life for our future. Delphi Corporation.
Let's see about getting passed through to Earth. And why are these things trying to kill us?
There you are. All better.
It's the little Megan doll.
You patched me up.
I am DI-03367. They are pragmatic.
Whoa, hang on a second. Don't you have a name or something? I'm good.
I think this is the trailer we already saw at State of Play.
I think I can help.
Yeah, it looks insane. Based on what people are saying, it's like there's a lot going on, but once you understand what you're doing with like hacking these enemies, it's super fun.
What the?
Bypassing first and second firewalls. Hooking control protocols. Initiating hack.
Pragmata.
Hey, D.I.
I said I am DI.
Okay. Look, how about we call you Diana?
Diana?
Again, I feel like those were shots at Maximilian Dude. Friendly shots of poking fun at him.
Introducing Capcom's newest IP, Pragmata.
Pragmata, not Pragmata?
An all-new science fiction action-adventure with a unique hacking twist. It's been a while since we first announced it, but we're excited to have the game ready for you in 2026. Today, we will go over some of the unique points of Pragmata.
Pragmata?
Encountering an android with a heart. You play as Hugh Williams, a member of a team sent to investigate a lunar research facility that's lost contact. When a lunar quake strikes, Hugh is separated from the team. He finds himself saved by Diana, an android girl.
There you are. All better.
Now they must work together to return to Earth. Hugh, a bit sarcastic, but a kind soul. And Diana, a curious and enigmatic android.
She's Chadley.
This is how an unlikely
that's
adventure
who she
between
is.
a
She's
human and android begins.
younger female Chadley.
A mix of puzzle and action.
This is what I'm excited about.
In Pragmata, combat begins with disarming the enemy's armor. Otherwise, you will find it difficult to inflict any real damage. This is where Diana comes in. Let's use her hacking ability on this enemy.
Okay, this is cool.
Moving the cursor through the panel, you take down their armor. And now, it's Hugh's turn. Take aim at the enemy's weak points. Passing through more blue nodes increases damage, and the enemy's armor stays exposed
Yeah,
for
this
longer.
looks sick.
With an arsenal of unique weapons, take on the rampaging bots. What enemy will you hack first? What weapon will you use? Thinking on the fly in the heat of combat and how you handle the multi-sided situation will be key for success. We can't wait for you to try this compelling
Yeah,
new
this is
combat
what I kept
system.
hearing about. The whole like hacking the enemy,
AI-controlled
revealing the
lunar
weak
research
point is a
station.
very addictive
In
aspect of
Pragmata,
gameplay.
Your adventures take place at a lunar research station.
In Space.
They are researching a new material that can be used to 3D print almost anything, from microchips to cars and giant structures. Now, however, the lunar research station seems void of human activity. Only the lifeless world and the AI remain. Use your thrusters to move around the lunar research station. You will also need to hack the systems blocking your progress. By combining their abilities, Hugh and Diana can explore this world together. Pragmata will be available on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, S, and Steam. This summer, we'll also
Gamescom, okay.
have public hands-on for Pragmata.
Pragmata, the pronunciation.
Experience the gameplay you just saw firsthand, including the thrilling combination of puzzle and action
Yeah,
combat.
this is gonna scratch a lot of itches in my brain. This is looking sick.
We are looking forward to many more events where you can get your hands on Pragmata.
Cross my fingers for a demo one day.
Please look out for more information on Pragmata on our official social channels, website, and stores. And don't forget to follow and to add Pragmata to your wish list.
She's a little too lifelike. This is gonna be cool. It's probably gonna have a sad ending though. Someone's not gonna make it.
3に登場するキャラクターのラインナップも
Kind of controversial.
イヤー3ではサガット、クリムゾンバイパ
Sea Viper. I love her.
ー、そしてイングリッドが登場する。
Angry it upset some people.
さて本日はイヤー3最初に登場するサガットの映像を
Okay,
少し
Sagat.
だけではありますがご用意いたしました。
I'm excited to see Sea
どうぞご覧ください。
Viper come back. I used her a lot in Street Fighter 4. She was one of my favorite new characters.
Check out the designs of the 7 characters that will receive Outfit 4 content with the Sagat update. Cammy, Luke, Chun-Li, Manon, Jamie, Kimberly, and Aki. We're continuing work on Outfit 4 content for these characters.
I'm gonna have
And
some
of
new
course,
wallpapers
we're
on my
working
computer.
Outfit 4 for the rest of the roster. So please stay tuned.
Cammy's one of my favorites.
Experience.
This actually looks really, really cool. I have yet to play it, but I really appreciate
You
that
can also
Capcom
use the new features of the Switch
is in
too,
a position
and
where
play
they can
using
now
mouse
make these
controls.
kinds of games. The weirder, smaller games. They don't have to worry about
Have fun playing
recouping
with the
costs. They can just put out
controls you
something
want.
really different. I think that's cool. Square Enix will hopefully be there one day.
Compatible with hand- Reclaim your destiny.
Onimusha. Phenomenal game.
A remaster from the swordplay action series Onimusha. A memorable cast of characters returns to weave their deep and complex tale.
It's such an in-depth game. You're not going to see everything on your first playthrough. You're not going to see everything on your second playthrough. There's so many different ways to play this game.
The remaster of Onimusha 2 Samurai's Destiny is available now.
I thoroughly enjoyed my recent playthrough. It's the new one.
Way of the Sword. The next entry in the swordplay action game series is
I'm in love with
coming
her.
in 2026. Set in early Edo period Kyoto, the protagonist Miyamoto Musashi will face his former
Musashi!
rival, Sasaki Ganryu. How will the clash between them unfold?
It's going to be so sick. I can't wait.
For more,
Ow! Gamescom. It'll be at Gamescom. Ah, it's going to be so good. It looks so good already.
from the creators of the latest Resident Evil.
Is Leon going to be there? What do you got? Scared me. Yes! Requiem. Concept. I love this so much.
開発のコンセプトは
Nakanashi.
なる恐怖というのを掲げてます。
Addictive
恐怖を
fear.
乗り越えるね気持ちよさ。
Oh yeah.
カタルスってやっぱこう脳汁が出るんですよね。それ自体がこれもっとやりたい、遊びたいっていう中毒性に、そこに徹底的にフォーカスしてみたら怖いけど、
Ah, more gameplay.
そういうのが作れるんじゃないかなっていうのがレクイエムの出発。
This is the demo people saw at SGF.
バイオハザードレクイエムは、シングルプレイかつ、
Miss
オ
Kawada.
フラインのゲームとなっています。バイオハザードで一番重要なのは恐怖体験だと思うんですけれども、今作においてはその恐怖体験っていうところに、しっかりとフィーチャーした内容に仕上がっているんじゃないかなと。
Very important for Resident Evil to be scary. Character.
今回の主人公は FBI 捜査官グレース・アッシュクロフト。
I love her already.
内向的で
Ah,
怖がり。
she's
バイオ
gorgeous.
ハザードとしては割と新しいタイプのキャラクターを作ろうとしています。プレイヤーと同じ目線で一緒になって怖がれるこういうキャラクターを狙っています。物語の中でもちろん彼女も恐怖を克服し成長していくんですけども FBI 捜査官なので銃の扱いも慣れてますし冷静な推理力とかも発揮しつつ活躍するキャラクターになっています。レオンを主人公にしようっていうのは実はずっとあったんですけどもどうしてもレオンを使った
Yeah, it's hard to make a badass in a situation where you're scared for them.
バケツに
Yeah,
びっくりするとかそういうレオンってそんなみんな見たくないやろっていうところで
it's just not happening.
じゃあホラーと食い合わせ悪いよなっていうのが
But,
したけど
oh, so close. Evolution.
ファーストトレーラーご覧になって分かるようにグレース自身がまあすごいいろんな目に遭うんですね。 PV で断片的には入ってるんですけれども逆さずり一つとっても顔の赤らみ高揚感であったりとかうっ血してる表現、あとは髪の毛もかなり力を入れてまして自分たち
She looks
で
good.
スタッフと一緒にプロの方を呼んで実際にウィッグを使ってそこからシミュレーションして CG に落としてみたりとかもしています。
Those next gen hair physics, man.
バイオハザードレクイエムはですね、一人称視点と
Yes.
三人称視点2つの
First
視
and
点
third,
で
yep.
自由に切り替えながら遊ぶことができます。主観視点だとその恐怖を間近に感じることができて緊張感のある臨場感のあるゲームプレイっていうのが可能になります。三人称視点だ
Lisa
とキャラクターの肩越しでの視点というところで
Yeah, proper
アクション
third person.
そういったところがよく見えるゲームプレイになると思いますのでアクションが好きだなって思う方には三人称視点の方がおすすめです。
Action heavy gameplay, huh? Raccoon City, baby.
滅菌作戦以降30年近く経つんですけどもゲームの舞台として登場します。
It's insane.
その当時アンブレラ事件っていうのでシリーズがヒットしてそれ以降もさまざまなキャラクターたちが、いろんなラクーンシティ
It's always there. It's always haunting
をきっかけ
them.
に立ち向かっていくようになったり人間成長したりそこに今回この表現要素を入れるっていうのが作り手としてはやっぱりかなり緊張感を持って臨ませてもらったっていうのが大きかったですね。
ラクーン事件に関わったもしくはラクーン事件に巻き込まれて大きく人生を変わってしまったり、命を落としてしまったりと そういった登場人物がたくさん出ます。レクイエムは彼らに向けての言葉通り鎮魂であり、もっと言うとバイオハザードシリーズ落音事件アンブレアをきっかけに生まれたシリーズのある種一つの区切りという意味でレクイエムというタイトルをつけています。
バイオハザードレクイエムは2026年2月27日に発売予定です。
It's so close but so far away.
2026年3月に
30 years, yeah.
30周年を迎えます。30周年記念タイトルの名に恥じぬようなゲームとして本作リリースしたいなというふうに思っております。
I think it will. Oh, still no Leon. Still no Leon.
グレースの母親は
大きく方針を転換してですね、
実写映画を目指すというところで
Further interviews with the creators that didn't fit into today's presentation will be released today on the Resident Evil portal.
Okay. Oh, why not just put it in here?
Register your Capcom ID to see the rest.
ラクーンシティっていうところは基本触っちゃいけないもんだと。
Okay, we gotta check that out now.
Get ready, hunters. The guild has authorized a
Shit.
new Monster Hunter showcase for you.
Just put it in here. Gonna make me go to the portal? Okay, so I had to wait a while because the Resident Evil portal website was not working. There was too many people going to the website. Get off the website. It was crashed. I couldn't use it. But I'm here now. I think I found the extra video they were talking about. They said messages, right? So it's just this one video. I'm afraid to click anywhere else because it's going to take an eternity for it to load, but I'm pretty sure it's this one. So let's check it out. Also, there's no full screen. This is as full. You're going to have to see my
僕ら
desktop.
考えているのはですね、レクイエムはバイオハザードシリーズを前に進めるタイトルを目指
Yes,
したい。
sounds good.
開発コンセプトとしてはやみつきになる恐怖というのを謳っています。
Spooky. Number 1. Okay. This is the only one that showed up.
バイオハザードレクイエムはシングルプレイかつ、
So it's like an extended version of what we just saw
いろんな
at the
要素を詰め
Spotlight.
込むってことは、できたと思いますし、実際我々もこのタイトルのごく初期では、
I think.
いろんなシステムの検討っていうのを行ったんですけれども、
よく噂されてますけど、オンラインのバイオハザードですとか、
Ah, this is new. Okay. Yeah, open world
そうい
Resident
ったと
Evil.
ころを試してみたいという
Yes.
のを長いことやってました。で結果としてですね、面白みのあるものは自体はできたんですけども、ファンが見たいもの
True.
やりたいタイトルってそういうことじゃないんじゃないっていうところで、仕切り直した結果、今のバイオハザード
Oh, so they did plan at one point to do open world. Yeah, you got to keep Resident Evil confined. It's got to be confined to a small area.
僕が作ったバイオハザード7はとにかく全てを恐怖のためにって言ってたように、とことんまで恐怖にフォーカスする、全てが怖くするために作る、ここを歌ってて、それ自体は
Oh, yeah.
一定の手応え出たと思いますし、皆さんからもとにかく怖いという評価をいただきました。それからバイオハザードシリーズは
One of my favorites. Incredible
ゲーム
remake.
プレイでしっかり怖さを感じられるタイトルでした。それから RE4。
Incredible
ゲーム性
remake.
自体はアクション性強いんですけども、高い緊張感ですとか全体で醸し出すムードといったところで、やはりしっかりとした恐怖
They
感
did a good job balancing that in the
恐怖
remake.
のいろいろな発展っていうのを僕らは見つけてきたのもあったんですよね。そういうところでセブンで作った恐怖、これをコアにしつつゲームとしても一つ前に進めたい、そういう思いで作ったのが
Okay. Paints a good
やみつきになる
picture.
恐怖というのはですね、恐怖というのをコアにしつつ、それでもやめられない、もっと先が見たいし、死んじゃったんだけどこうしてみたらよかったんちゃうかなとか、次はこう
It's
して
Lisa Trevor.
そしてその恐怖を乗り越えた時の達成感でもっとやりたい、中毒性があるぐらいやみつきになると。
It's that adrenaline
ゲーム
rush
プ
you
レイ
get.
体験を作ろうじゃないかっていうのがレクイエムの目指したものです。
フィルムノワールは映像的に端的にモノクロ
But it's
って
also
いう意
tone.
味合いもあったりとかはするんですけれども、局所的に街が舞台だったりとかもしますんで、都市部の犯罪であったりとか、現代劇の中のサスペンスっていう要素も
Fedoras.
そういった、金属と反射とフィルムノワールっていう言葉を合わせて メタルノワールという
Metal and Noir. This is why I love Capcom. They're always coming up with
メタル
stuff.
っていうのはまあ文字の通り、金属であったりとか、まあ、CG グラフィックの中では、反射リフレクションを指し
Oh,
ま
this
す。
is
メタルっていう部分に関しては、過去作は結構田舎が舞台であまりそういった草木とか自然物は多かったんですけれども、今回は、結構街、まあ、ラクーン
It's
シティ
reminding me
も
of
含めてなんですけれ
RE2.
ども、
OG.
現代劇のある、シチュエーションが多いので、そういった映り込みであったりとか鉄金属が、まあ、かなりフィーチャーされるであろうというところで、テクニカル的にも結構力を入れて、表現していった部分です。
やはり分かりやすいのはビジュアル表現だと思います。トレーラーでも見ていただいたグレースの例えば交際表現、眼球の動き、そこから読み取る表情ですとか、
RE engine
汗ばんだ
is
肌、
insane. It's got some limitations, but when it comes to character
人
models,
物の表現が
it's absurdly
これまで
good.
もなく本当にいる実在感、そういうところを目指して格段に上がったものになってます。
Grace Ashcroft. Resident
まあ、コンセプ
Evil.
ト的には今までに
Yes.
いないようなゲーム中でも知恵と工夫で難局を乗り越える、そういったキャラクター性が出来上がってきました。
I wonder who
ホ
her
ラーをやるっていう
face model is. She's
必然的に
gorgeous.
そうなっていった部分もあるんですけれども、今までの主人公たちのような
Yes.
スーパーヒーロー像としたキャラクターではなくて、彼女なりの力で、切り抜けていくと、そういったところが一つの魅力になってます。
今までのやっぱりキャラクターにはない、ちょっとその内気な感じ、ある種そのホラーゲームの主人公らしい、キャラクター像になるんでしょうけれども、そういったものがダイレクトに反映できているのではないかなと思っています。もちろんバイオハザードのプレイヤーキャラクターなので、必要なアクションとか銃の手さばきみたいなものは、FBI 捜査官という設定を持ってですね、しっかり対応できるようになってるんですけれども、ちょっと動作自体がもじもじしたりおどおどしたりっていうところもあったり、新鮮なイメージっていうのを皆さん持っていただけるんじゃな
I
いか
do
な。
already. Yeah.
今や、愛されるキャラクターとなった、イーサー・ウィンターズ、そうだったように本作のグレースも、よりプレイヤーに愛していた
People
だ
love
け
her
るような
already.
キャラクター
I
に
do.
なってきているというふうに思います物語を進めていくにつれて、グレースの境遇だったりとか物語での、仕打ちみたいなものもそこに感情移入してしまったりだとか、そういったところで、プレイヤーに、共感をよりこう感じられるような、キャラクターだと思います。グレースのその髪型っていうのは、シリーズの中でも、珍しい、ちょっとショートカットだけれどもふわっとしたような
主人公たるキャラクターには癖っ気のような結構
The details, man. They think of
今
everything.
回キャラクター性を掘り下げていくときに髪の毛で、そういった部分を、表現できないかな
Through the hair.
ということで、髪型にしていますね。デザイン自体は簡単ではあるんですけれども、これを実際に 3D でやるとなるとかなり大変で、プロの方を呼んでウィッグを実際に作っていただいて、ファースト PV で逆さまの
Professional wig
実
makers.
際にウィッグで逆さまにして癖っ気のある人間が逆さまになった時ってどういうふうに
That's dedication right there, man.
そういったものを一つ一つやっていったっていうイメージですね。実は CG で近しい形までは行ったんですけれども、その先にどうしてもクオリティが伸びなくてですね、ちょうどその時プラグマタのチームでストランドという機能でテクニカル的に掘り下げてまして、 RE エンジン自体が習熟してきてまして、他チームで培ったノウハウを取り入れられるっていう
Pragmata
整ってます。
influenced Resident Evil
その
Requiem.
ストランドをちょっと使ってみようと。
That's
ということで
pretty sick.
それが思いのほか品質が出てですね、ストランドで髪の毛の柔らかさを表現するだけでなくて、追われる、シーンではライターをかざして髪の毛の向こうに光があるっていうシチュエーションが
That
用
I
意され
like
てるんですけれども、
that. Man.
そこで髪の毛の光が透過するっていう、かなり表現できないうまくいったなという
The
とこ
music.
ろにありますね。
It's the RPD music. It was like a redone version of the RPD theme. Oh, I just got chills. Oh, to be continued. I think that's it. This is the only creator message I found. But let me double check. Okay, I believe that was all for the videos. I was just scrolling back through the Spotlight and I came across Cammy. People do be gooning. I love Cammy. This is insane. I can't focus. That was awesome. I do wish, just want to say, I kind of wish they would have just played the extended Resident Evil video in the Spotlight, even if it made the broadcast 45 minutes long. Having to go to the Resident Evil portal kind of sucked because it didn't load. I was having a panic attack. Too many people were trying to access the website, but I got in, we saw the video, it's great. But breakdown, recaps. Pragmata, the guy said Pragmata, but the RE devs called it Pragmata. I'm sticking with Pragmata. This game looks stupid in like the best way possible. This shit right here, the hacking into the enemy before you can actually damage them and reach their weak points, is super cool. And based on what, you know, Maximilian Dude, Professor Noctis, the Sphere Hunter were saying, that once they learned how to do this, they could not wait to get back into gameplay and do it again. So I don't know if the hacking system is going to be the same for each enemy, like every time. Like, for example, does this guy in front of us, does he have the set same pattern for each encounter, or does it change every time? I'm assuming it probably changes every time to keep things fresh, but it looks so cool. Those dodges in particular, looks like you get like a little drone to help you out. Yeah, this game looks insane. Like, I'm super excited to play it. I know there'll be a demo at Gamescom, but I'm hoping Capcom releases like a public demo sometime throughout the summer, because this just looks insane. Like, I gotta play it to really experience it. I'm gonna be doing this randomly to myself in the mirror. But yeah, this just looks so fun. I feel like it's really gonna make me focus and think about what I'm doing, but also how I approach an enemy, because you got to take into consideration what area are you in, how fast can you move, what's going to block you, what is your blocking essentially going to be like, how do you navigate these spots. But I'm also curious to see the relationship between Diana and Hugh. She's cute. You got this little android on your back who's like a weaponized backpack, and you get to do all kinds of cool stuff with her. Like, yeah, that's sick. This is just looking insane. Like, it started off as a joke. Is it real? Pregunta. It's real. It's looking sick. I have a lot of faith in it because Capcom has pretty much been on a roll these past few years. Even with something like Exoprimal, which I wasn't crazy about, there were still people that loved it, and it was still a very sound game. It wasn't Dino Crisis, you know, like I'd wanted it to be, but people still loved it and had a blast playing it. But this looks like it's going to be so much fun. Like, I went from like, oh, LOL, Pragmata, to, oh shit, Pragmata. So, sick. But this right here, Resident frickin' Evil Requiem, they are really drip feeding us information. They are teasing us information on this stuff. They're also being very coy about Leon. They very briefly mentioned him in the Spotlight of, you know, it's hard to take a character like Leon and make him scared, put him in a situation where he's scared, which is something I brought up. Like, you have to have fresh new protagonists for these games if you're focusing on the horror aspect of what you're doing, which is what they're doing. That fear that you felt in RE7, you didn't really have it in 8 as much. But bringing it back to survival horror, having a character like Grace, who is an FBI agent and she is trained, but she's also an introvert, like me. Representation. She's also easily startled. She's trained with weapons, but she's a little clumsy. And you see that in the trailer. She gets startled when her boss says her name. She turns around and she gets up and knocks her papers over, and she's just like not well put together in a sense. Not in a bad way. But to have that reflect her character, but not to the point where she's going to be like cowering in the corner the whole time. She knows she has some training. She's going to be able to fight back when she has the opportunity. Who's her face model? She is beautiful. But they put so much work too into Grace as a character. She's not just a newbie. She has connections to her mom, Alyssa. Even down to like incorporating her personality into her hairstyle. It sounds super silly, but this is what Capcom does. Like, they take into consideration every aspect of a character and how they craft them. And here we go, dancing around Leon once more. But making a horror game based around him is difficult. That's true. You can't take Leon, you can't take Chris, Claire, Jill, Barry, Rebecca, and put them in situations where they're going to get scared. It just doesn't happen. These are badass characters who have already faced so much. If you've watched the movie Resident Evil Death Island, the end of that movie is literal Avenger shit. Chris, Leon, Claire, Rebecca, Jill are going full-on Avengers mode, fighting this guy who is merged with a zombie shark. And there's some quips, they're using rocket launchers, they're doing crazy acrobatics. They're not scared. They know they're going to win. So you can't do that with Leon. If Leon is in this game, he's going to have the action sequences. And I think the way it might play out is, last I remember, Leon, I think, was working for the FBI, the government. And of course, maybe he's on vacation. Maybe he's on a mission somewhere else. And because the FBI, which Grace works for, gets sent into Raccoon City, she disappears. They don't hear from her. So they figured, who on our team is not only really good, but who on our team has experience with Raccoon City? Leon S. frickin' Kennedy. Leon, we need you to go back to Raccoon City. We need you to find Grace and get her out of there. And there's been some talk about how this is really going to wrap up potentially the 30 years of Resident Evil lore that they've been building since the original game. These characters are legendary. There's a potential somebody might die, and it might be Leon, assuming he's in the game. That would suck. I love these characters. I've been a fan of Resident Evil a little bit longer than I've been a fan of Final Fantasy, to be honest. Since I was like 6. That was the first time playing Resident Evil, and I was like, this is insane. This is so cool. So Leon, Chris, Jill, Claire, Barry, Wesker, Rebecca, all these characters have been with me and probably a lot of you since we were younger, or for 30 years at least. And to lose one of them, the good guys anyway, Wesker can suck a dick, even though he's cool. But to lose Leon would be sad. I would cry, and it would hurt because I care so much about these characters. They're so cool. But also when you put into context who Leon is as a character, Leon would full on do that. He would go in, find Grace, and sacrifice himself if it meant she could continue. That's just the kind of guy Leon is. And, you know, Leon's been around not 30 years, a little bit less because RE2 came out later, but there's only so much you can do with these characters, really, when you think about it. How much more story can you tell with a Leon? Yeah, he's cool. He's badass. He's one of my favorites, but like, to have the courage, the balls to kill off a Leon would be pretty big, especially if they want, like they've been saying, to take this franchise in a bold new direction. And this is seemingly laying the foundation for that next 10, 20, maybe 30 years of Resident Evil. But the hope is that Leon, if he's in the game, he won't die. He'll survive, be cool, get Grace out of there. Maybe we'll see him again, maybe down the line. Even though they're shutting down this storyline potentially and wrapping things up, I hope that doesn't mean that we say goodbye to the cast. You know, Claire, Chris, Jill, Rebecca, I really do want to see those characters come back, especially Jill. So who knows what they're going to do, but what they're setting up seems super cool, spooky, scary, and intense, but just like the perfect Resident Evil maybe wrapped into one. And I think they're going to be able to balance the scary horror stuff, the first person stuff with Grace, but also the action-y cool stuff with Leon, should he be in the game. It's also interesting that they mentioned in that video, they were at one point planning an open world Resident Evil. And I think back to last summer, those were rumors flying around. Oh, we're going to get our Resident Evil open world game. And I'm like, okay, I personally don't want that. I think Resident Evil works best when you're in a confined location, even if it's an expanded location. You look at RE4, RE2 remake, RE3, how you progress through the different levels of that game. I think it works best in like that kind of structure. Or RE4, which is like biomes, these different biomes that you get to explore. I think that's how I would personally want it, because you want it scary, you want it creepy. You don't want this big open world where you're exploring different buildings, or even something like Silent Hill. I think that works really well for Silent Hill, but I don't think you want that for Resident Evil. But the fact that they toyed around with that idea and were like, nah, that's not what the fans are going to want. Good on you, Capcom, you read people right. But this whole theme of metal and noir, I think that's super cool. To take the aspects of noir as a thematic thing and combine that with like the physical urban environment, the metal stuff, shiny, reflective, I think is really cool. It was also interesting that they showed off that brief bit of footage of who knows where they were at. I don't think it was Raccoon City. It could be the city that Grace is currently in, but to see people in a city environment, that back alley, super, super hard flashbacks to Resident Evil 2 OG, and to a degree the remake. And that was one of my criticisms of RE2 and RE3, is that you just didn't spend a lot of time in the city, which I would have liked to have seen them do, especially with RE3. I think being in the city more would have benefited 3 in particular a lot, but having just a little extra of the city in RE2 remake is what I personally really wanted to see. But I also think back to all of the character work they're putting into someone like Grace, even down to her hair, to hire someone who specializes in wigs to make Grace look snatched. That's 3 snaps in the Z formation, in the Zoro formation. For those of you who know what that is. She's gonna be fierce, man. This is just so cool. They put so much work into this stuff. Stuff you don't even think about, like, oh yeah, just character hair that looks cool. Like, no. Wig. We need to design it, we need to study how it moves, but also the fact that Pragmata, that strand issue, or strand stuff with the hair, that they could incorporate that from that dev team. This is why having your dev teams in the same location working alongside each other is so vital, because they can come up with things that help other teams. And Square Enix is just now doing that, where everyone's now going to be located in the same building, working side by side. So CS1 might come up with something that benefits CS3 and vice versa. So that is really valuable. And to see that Pragmata influenced Requiem in a way, it's like a really cool synergy kind of thing, which is just phenomenal. But this is sick. I'm really, really excited. I'm really excited to see again if Leon shows up. They're really dancing around his involvement. In the way things are going now, I could see it be a situation where maybe with 6 months left of marketing, maybe even less, they surprise people and go, oh, by the way, Leon's in this game. They just drop a new trailer, they don't mention Leon, and you're watching the trailer and boom, Leon shows up, saves the day, does something cool. So they're really saving Leon, I think, as like a cool surprise that's going to happen closer to the release of the game. Lisa Trevor. But this is cool. I like this. And what's cool is, I know there are people out there that when they play games, they put themselves into the shoes of the character. Normally when I play, I'm acting as an observer of the story, an observer of the characters. I don't put myself in the shoes of a Cloud Strife or a Leon S. Kennedy. I'm like working alongside them is how it is for me. So I'm rooting them on actively, even though I'm controlling them. But to have a character like Grace, who is introverted, she's a little clumsy, she gets scared, she's a little timid, that's how I am. I get scared to read comments on YouTube videos. So she represents me perfectly. But I already know I'm going to have moments where I'm sitting there. Grace is going to be scared. I'm going to be scared. I'm going to be like, come on, Grace, we got to do this shit. Like, we got to get past this monster and get out of here. I think, like, I love her already. So this is super, super exciting, super fun. And I just can't wait to see more. I really can't. Like, I love Resident Evil, and it's cool to see it back stronger than ever, but laying a foundation that could continue for another 10, 15, 20, 30 years for all we know. Man. But anyway, that's the end of the video. I think we pretty much covered everything from Pragmata, from Resident Evil Requiem. Based on what they showed, we kind of tackled every little story point that they brought up, details on gameplay, Metal Noir. It's going to be insane. I actually had fun doing this video. Full transparency, I've been kind of in a rut when I make my videos. I had a period of time where I was just super anxious about making videos and uploading them because I was worried like, oh, this isn't going to do well, or what's the reception going to be? I have to change this. This is too distracting. Where's Grace? Give me Grace. And I'm like, I got nervous and scared. I'm like, I don't know if this is going to do well. And shout out to Cataclysm, who I've talked about before on this channel. I was watching one of her streams one day and somebody asked the question of like, hey, if I watch one of your videos and then I stop watching and I come back later, does that hurt your analytics? And she was just straight up like, I don't know. I don't pay attention to that stuff. I just play things and upload them because it's fun. And I'm like, yeah, like I used to do that. I used to just make videos and talk about stuff and have fun because that's what it was for me. It was fun. And it's also a way for me to get all these ideas in my brain out through my arm and my hand and into a video. And it helps me kind of relax and focus because I probably have ADD or ADHD at this point. So just hearing her say that, it's like, yeah, I want to get back to doing that. And I'm enjoying this. I don't know if it's going to do well. I don't. But it's fun to make it. It's fun to put my reactions out there and talk about it. And I'm just kind of like, I'm like Stella. I'm finding my groove. I'm getting my groove back. And I just want to make videos that are fun again. I'm having fun with making them, shooting them, recording them, and seeing what you guys have to say. You know, it's fun too. So I'm just kind of like getting my groove back. So thank you to Cataclysm. You influenced me without even knowing it. But with that being said, that's the video. Let me know in the comments down below, what are you guys thinking so far on Pragmata/Pregunta? And what are you also thinking about Resident Evil Requiem? Because it is shaping up to be something that's going to be maybe one of the best in the series, which is saying a lot because we have OG RE4, which revolutionized gaming when that came out. So I'm super excited to see this. I can't wait for more. I am Curious Corduroy. I will see you guys in the next video. Please remember to always be excellent to one another.